Namaskar, it's me, Raju Gautam. I'm teaching in Biswati primary level science. So, my dear students, today I'm going to teach you science from class 5, new lesson, chapter 1, unit 1, that is called invertebrates. So, I would like to start from the lesson 1, that is called invertebrates. Now, my dear students, you know, animals are very common to us. There are varieties of animals we can see in our surrounding. Some of them they are very big in size, some of them they are very small in size, some of them they are nocturnal animals, some of them they are diurnal animals. Nocturnal animals means which are active at night, and diurnal animals means which are active at the daytime. And most commonly seen are cow, buffalo, goat, dog, these type of animals. They have got a vertebral column, so that's why they are called vertebrate animals. But most of them, they do not have backbones, like snail, ant, bee, butterfly, and so on. They do not have backbones, so they are called invertebrate animals. Today we are going to deal only with the basic knowledge of invertebrate animals. So let us start. Now, invertebrates, animals which do not have backbones or vertebral column are called invertebrates. Again, listen very carefully. Animals which do not have a backbone or vertebral column are called invertebrates animals. Examples are snail, ant, and butterfly. Now, there are some silent features regarding the invertebrates animals. Silent features are backbone is absent. They do not bear any type of backbone. Now, they may be unicellular or multicellular. As I have marked out unicellular and multicellular, these two I am going to define you later on regarding unicellular and multicellular. Point number 3, they have less developed organs or system. Means their body organs are not that much developed like vertebral animals. Point number 4, their body is covered with hard covering. Most of them, their bodies are covered with hard covering. These are the 4 basic features of invertebrate animals. Now, invertebrates animals may be bisexual or unisexual. Again, I have marked out bisexual and unisexual. Now, what does it mean, bisexual or unisexual? Let us describe at first bisexual. The definition of bisexuals is the animals having both male and female sexual organs. Again, listen very carefully. The animals having both male and female sexual organs in the same body is called a bisexual animals. This means what? In the same body they have both male and female sex organs. Unisexual means the animals having either male or female. Either means either they are male or they are female. That means they have got 2 sex organs in their body. Now separately, 2 sex organs in their body separately, male or female. Now this is the definition of unisexual. Now let us come here, my dear students. I have given the classification of invertebrate animals. This is a very important point and you need to remember this one because it is not important only for class 6 or 5. It is important up to class 8. Now, classification of invertebrate animals on the basis of their structure and development, because their structure and developments are very different from each and other, like protozoa and porifera. They may be different from each another in their structure and development. Now, let us start. Now, according to the classification of invertebrates on the basis of their structure and development, they are divided into 9 phylums. Okay, again you just remember into a 9 phylums. This is a very important point, 9 phylums. Point number 1 phylum, it is called a protozoa. Point number 2, it is called porifera. Point number 3, it is called colintrata. Point number 4, it is called platyhelminthes. Point number 5, it is called gnathyhelminthes. Point number 6, it is called annelida. Point number 7, it is called orthopoda. Point number 8, it is called mollusca. And point number 9, last one, it is called echinodermata. Now, these are the 9 phylums of the classification of invertebrate animals on the basis of their structure and development. Now, let us know about the basic knowledge regarding the protozoa. Now, basically, protozoa, it includes unicellular. They are unicellular organisms and microscopic animals. Why they are called unicellular? Again, this is the question here, unicellular. The animals which are having only a single cell are called a unicellular animals. That means they are formed or made by only single type of a cell. Microscopic animals, because we need a compound microscope to observe them. Without a microscope, we cannot see them. That means it is impossible to see with our naked eyes. Now examples are amoeba and paramecium, etc. Point number 2, porifera. Now these animals, it includes animals having numerous pores in their body. Okay, numerous pores in their body means there are different, very small pores like stomata on a leaf. Small pores are there in their bodies, and they breathe through the help of their body. They breathe through the help of their body. Now they are commonly known as sponges. They are basically known as sponges, and the examples of them are Cecon, Spingula, etc. Now let us come in point number 3, Colintrata. Colintrata, it includes animals having hollow body cavity. Hollow body cavity means they must be found in marine water. They are basically found in marine water. Examples are Hydria and Cholera. Regarding the Colintrata, there is another important things. On their head there is a tentacles. That tentacles, it helps them for the locomotion and catching food. Tentacles in Colintrata. Colintrata, they do not have any type of head, but they have got a tentacles, and in the tentacles there is a mouth. It helps them in locomotion and to catching the food. Now here next one, Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes, it consists of flat invertebrates commonly known as flatworms. Now flatworms are very common to us. We know it, students, that flatworms are basically parasites. Parasite means they host in the body of vertebrate animals. They are found inside the intestine of any animals. Even in the human being also we can see it. Examples are very simple. Tapeworm, this is a very common one, and liver fluke, especially in the liver of pig. We commonly found that one, liver fluke. These are the examples of Platyhelminthes. Now next one, let us come to Platyhelminthes. Now it consists of flat invertebrates commonly known as flatworms. Now this is also very common. This Platyhelminthes also, it comes under the category of parasites, because basically they are found inside the body of other animals. They lived inside the body of any other animals, and they suck the blood from their host as their food. So they are also known as a parasites. Now Gnathihelminthes, next point, Gnathihelminthes, it includes animals having round body, commonly known as roundworms. Now roundworms also, it is commonly known as roundworms. Now this one also, it comes under the categories, it is categorized under the parasites. Now why? Because they are also found inside the body of animals. Cow, buffalo, dog, even in the dog, cat, even in the commonly known as buffaloes, we can see it commonly. Okay, roundworms. Example is pinworm and hookworm. Very good one example. Pinworm and hookworm are the examples of Gnathihelminthes. Now come at the point number 6, that is called Annelidia. It includes animals having segmented rings. Now segmented rings. Now Annelidia is very common. They have got a soft body, commonly soft skin body. Sorry, they have got a soft skin body, and they are very good because we can observe them in our surrounding very clearly, like freely living segmented worm, that is called an earthworm. We can see it freely in our surrounding also. That is an example of Annelidia. Another one very good example regarding this Annelidia is leech, because leech is also a parasite which depends for their food on other vertebral animals. Okay, now Orthopoda. Now regarding this one, dear students, this one is very important point regarding Orthopoda, because Orthopoda, it includes animals having jointed legs. Now they are basically found in almost all the places of our earth. It may be found in the ocean also, it may be found on the air also, it may be found on the land also. That's why Orthopoda is the largest number of animals which is found in the earth. It includes spider, bee, honeybee, wasps, and so on. Okay, now Arthropoda. Now mollusca. Mollusca, it includes animals having soft body. Now regarding mollusca also, there is a very good point regarding mollusca, because it is commonly seen in our society or in our community or in our surrounding environment. Mollusca includes animals having soft body, but their bodies are covered with a hard shell. Hard shell, like snail. Very good example. I've said just now, very good example, snail. Snail is a very good example of mollusca. Their body is covered with a hard shells. Now their head, it consists of eye, tentacles, and moreover mouth. They breathe through the help of lungs or a gills. Regarding mollusca, because mollusca most commonly found on the land, and few of them they are found inside the ocean water also. Now Echinodermata. Echinodermata, it includes animals having spiny skin. Spiny skin, it means that very soft skin. Now regarding these animals, Echinodermata, one very good example is that they are only found in marine water, means deep inside the oceans. Now my dear students, I think you know the example now regarding this one, Echinodermata, because I've said just now they are only found in a marine water without backbones. Without backbones, which are animals that have got a spiny skin? Example, starfish. They do not bear any head, they do not bear any mouth, they do not bear any legs. But starfish, it has been said that it has got 5 feet. But others are like sea cucumber, that is like a caterpillar, but it is found inside the oceans. Now Echinodermata, it includes animals having spiny skin. These animals are only found in the marine water. Now my dear students, these are the basic things regarding the invertebrate animals, and these are the very important points that you should remember. And you should learn it. This one, learn it by heart regarding the classification of invertebrate animals on the basis of their structure and development. It is including 9 phylums, that is Protozoa, Porifera, Colintrata, Platyhelminthes, Gnathyhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. Now what is invertebrate? I hope that you are very clear regarding this one. What is invertebrate? Silent features of invertebrates are also very important. Now last point, my dear students, I have said that I am going to say regarding unicellular and multicellular organisms. Now unicellular organisms are those organisms which are formed or made by a single cell only. Examples are here, protozoa. I've said recently just now, protozoa. Now unicellular animals. Multicellular animals means those animals which are made by 2 or more than 2 type of cells. They are called what? Multicellular animals. Okay, multicellular animals. Now these are the basic things, my dear students, you should learn it. And please, if you can write this one, you should write it all this one. These are the basic knowledges regarding the invertebrate animals. Now silent features, you should copy it down. It is here, I think it is clear. Okay, now regarding invertebrate, definition of invertebrate, it is given here now. Okay, now bisexual and unisexual, it is equally important. Okay, now dear students, please, I would like to request to all my dear students who are staying at home to do homeworks, as we are giving these homeworks on the Facebook, on the page of Biswati, add me. In that we are going to give you certain homeworks. So please, I request all my dear students who are staying at home to complete all their homeworks and post it in that Facebook page of Biswajyoti. Thank you very much. See you next time. Namaste.